Where were we? Where the hell? I must have scrolled accidentally. Or we're further down than I thought. I shouldn't have cut that, actually. I think I looked at this and I saw it wrong. Whoops. Good job, Safi. I think it's worth pointing out that you might have noticed that I wasn't too upset about how this chapter and everything has been going. Like, so far, things have been... I don't know. It's kind of trying to repeat a lot of points that it really shouldn't. It's doing stuff that doesn't even make sense. It's really weird when you get right down to it. It's not nothing to something which really tried to just invent whole cloth, just the weirdest random stuff, but man. Anyway. Where were we? Breathe a sigh of relief in spite of how much anxiety this metal coffin gives me. We're close together again. It's weird. Never liked peace before, so it must be growing on me. Why did I stop this anyway if I'm this close? My eyes meet hers, and those silver slit iris hold a vulnerability that makes my breath hitch. She looks more relieved. She looks relieved at more than just our timely escape. I appreciate what you did back there for me. What you did for me back there. Oh, no problem. Didn't do all just that. I didn't do all that much except act as a barrier. So if it makes good on that promise, we can get joint custody of the chair. You know, as thanks. A wispy smirk escapes her as she replies, "Let's hope that doesn't happen. You can just roll with me in the elevator for now." A pantomime being in deep thought, so avoiding death rewards me with defying it every day. So you want to guarantee death by Mia, or significantly lower the possibility of death? Oh, wait. So you want the guaranteed death by Mia, or the significantly lower possibility of death by elevator? She leans forward, even closer to me with a cocky smile. I hum as long as I can, scratching at my chin. Long enough the elevator dings and the doors squeal open. Just for me to say, "I suppose your terms are acceptable." She scoffs and rolls her eyes with a small smile. We go our separate ways. Me to photography and Olivia to whatever class she has next. I try to get a feel for her schedule once, but only one. But the only one she bothers to remember is the art accounts. Every other class she just autopilots and screws around. Man, that's so in tune for what she is. Even though it was never that hard harped on by Inko. Don't blame her. Maybe there's some saurian instincts, like the one that allows gators to keep in water without fear of drowning. Photography passes by pretty quickly. I briefly think about letting Ben know in on what just happened, but weighing the possible outcomes, nothing seemed like it would be improved by doing that. Either Ben the good boy tries to get two to talk it out, which is just a disaster waiting to happen, or takes me aside that it was just a misunderstanding or some bullshit. A disaster, just slightly delayed. History is a waking snooze fest as usual. I've never had a teacher as young as Prockling. It was so boring. I can't even pay attention to the lecture. Olivia has her hood pulled up, and she's fiddling with her hands in her lap while staring into the middle distance. In spite of her high spirits following the immediate In spite of her high spirits immediately following the conflict, I guess the whole period was enough for her to backtrack into believing Mia. I mean, she didn't have you to fall back on. I'd like to think that's not what's happening, but I'm a realist. Maybe a cynic, but blind optimism doesn't change the disheartening side of the sullen gator go. What could I even do? Act like an obstacle again? A distraction from the bad thoughts? It's nothing more than a quick fix, but needling her won't help either. Fuck, I feel so impotent with this stuff. Some friend I am. Time comes for Olivia to use her accommodations and leave early. She hasn't looked at me all period and still does as she leaves. She still doesn't as I leave. I mean, there's a persistent tightness in my chest over it all. I think back on Mia and just how much of a 90s bully stereotype she is. Even when a young biker bitch style screams it. And she's quite conventional based on the surface level shit she was pummeling Olivia with. I frowned at the thought of that. No matter how surface level it is, it wasn't nothing. Death by 1,000 cuts rather than the cannon blast that tore me apart last year. Comrades in misery. I suppose that does in a way, though Olivia doesn't know about it. Class ends, and with the final bell I'm free to go home and stew on it all, but... yeah, great fun. When I exit the building, I'm surprised to see Liz... forget to set it to that. I'm surprised to see Liz, Damien, and Olivia all in a circle. I don't think I've ever seen them outside of school, save for that party. I always thought they took off ASAP. Things look tense, so I wordlessly walk out to see what's going on with the gang. Damien has this repentant look with Olivia glaring at him, and Liz is looking off with disinterest. No one is talking or acknowledging my presence. So what's up, Anon! Damien looks at me wide-eyed and places both hands on my shoulder. Anon, you believe me, right? Huh? I ask. Olivia snorts indignantly as I try to piece together the vibe. I'm not made for this social cue bullshit. I didn't mean for any of that to happen. Damien, my guy, you know I wasn't there for any of your conversation, right? His frills fan out in embarrassment. I think? Dialogues are weird, and casts a shameful gaze aside. When Mia asked about that nickname stuff from so long ago, I just blurted it out. She didn't say she was going to use it for something so unscrupulous. Another unexpectedly big word from Damien now. But I get it. Mia did say something about learning from a certain retarded frillhead. You don't know what unscrupulous means, Damien. That is an unscrupulous application, though. Allow me to enlighten you with the grand knowledge of what unscrupulous means. It means to have or show no moral principles, not to be honest or fair. That is an unfair and dishonest use. So, Liz, shut up. It's technically applicable. Well, hold on, Liz. I feel like this is a deviation from the main issue, but it needs saying because Anon is also a pedant, because he's an internet troll. He did use it correctly, but that's beside the point. I like how I told him to hold on, but then just immediately... It makes you might as well bite an apple at this point, or kick a puppy. I guess you technically have in a roundabout way. Anon, I really didn't mean for any of that to happen. The pink Dilo seems besides himself. And while understandable, Olivia's pouty refusal to accept the apology is worsening it. I literally don't think you're capable of benevolence, man. But that being said, I deliberately towed the line and pussy out. Olivia has the right to feel miffed about it. Liz brings her head closer to the group huddle. Olivia told me what happened with Mia, calling her some nickname, among other things. She said you were there too. Damien is kneeling at this point, his hands spread begging forgiveness before Olivia. Yeah, I was. Olivia, you loved that nickname back in the day, when we were kids. What? When we were kids? You're 18, Damien! Or 19. Damien tries to get any response at this point. The poor guy really is lost on where he went wrong. I'd say it starts with an M and ends with E. Olivia rolls her smoky eyes. Just smoke already! You really didn't mean it, Olivia, Liz proffers. Listen, take that R away and you end up with a delicious Dutch dessert. The tiny little pancakes. You put powdered sugar on them and a little butter. I always forgot the butter was there. The butter helps clump the powdered sugar together and these little... Oh. I know already! Olivia snarls almost as venomously as when Mia forced her to say the nickname. She immediately leans into a fuming point and with puffs of proverbial smoke flaring from her nostrils as she huffs. But I get it. Even if the other things that came out of nowhere, the camel's back is broken. You're just being you again, Damien. Sometimes I wish you weren't, but whatever. Olivia's gritty words are born of an unnoble frustration, but I doubt that registers with Damien as his frills fall in closer to his neck. She reaches for a canteen, but finds it empty. Her voice is gravelly as she voices, "A nickname's just that, a nickname. I don't want to hear it again, especially not from her. Especially if it's just to get out of my skin." Okay, I'll bite the bullet. Why not? Why not? I shrug, ready to have my head bitten off, if only to spare Damien the pain. The pain me in. Olivia refuses to shift out of her pouting silence, and Damien's empty eyes for once betray that he's searching for the right words. Well, I wasn't around for this, but... Liz offers what she knows in lieu of first-hand account. When they were in first years in middle school, Damien and Olivia would take the bus every weekend to an arcade in the city. I guess he came up with the nickname around then, and it stuck. Could be worse. Their bullying started in rock bottom. I had some pretty colorful nicknames. The most hypocritical of which was No Lunch Man, owing to my baldness and poverty even by that town's standard. No Lunch Man? It's not quite Punch. Punch and Lunch are a bit weird in terms of rhyming and synonyms, but I like it! Ugh. Also, I think it's the no that does it. One Lunch Man would work. You're changing it a little too much for the atmosphere to stick. This is word acts as a good springboard for Damien. That's half right, but I didn't come up with it. We bring a chunk of change for us and play stuff with each other. Imagine just about anything was a quarter. Probably still is. but I don't think I ever won once. She stood to win something. Once she stood to win something, it's like a switch went off in her head. I'd never seen Olivia get like that. Some of the teenagers were watching too, and they saw everything. A couple challenged her when she ran out of cash, and sure enough, she ended up cleaning house all afternoon. It was all she talked about at school all week until we come back for more. Only took like a month for her to be recognized as some local champion. Sometime along the way, people started calling her Hot Wheels. I don't really know who or when, but I know it's proof she got that fire in her. It's also because she bought a lot of those tiny toy cars, car toys. It could be either. Everyone is shocked. Why would everyone be shocked silent? There's like 2 people that don't know the story. Everyone is shocked silent at the surprisingly cogent, the term is cogent, and some sentimental retelling. Until I say what everyone is thinking. What the fuck have you done with Damien, imposter? I might laugh at my own dumbass joke. What the hell, man? You never cease to amaze. He perks back up at that, at least. I had fun back then. I forgot I wasn't supposed to bring it up. Have things really changed that much? Have the times changed? And you just brought it up again, Olivia glares. Damien is sorry, and Olivia relents. Just can't help yourself, but you're right. That was the best time of my life. The name Hot Wheels, however, belongs to a 10-year-old me, not the current me. I don't know. It's a badass story. I don't know, that's a badass story. Local champ, huh? Not anymore. What? I'm not a champ anymore. Not even a winner like I was. Liz seems more lost than anyone. Because you don't go to the arcade anymore? If it's the one I'm thinking of, it's only like half an hour away. Liz's vacant stare says more than any words can, and leaves no need for a response. But I'm in agreement with Damien and even Liz here. Dour mood aside, Olivia most certainly beat me here today. Winner in my heart. So I speak from the heart. Nah, that's bullshit, Olivia. BS. What? I was there today. And? You're not a winner because You're not a winner just because you haven't tried in years. But you're not a loser. Trust me. There's a difference. Olivia's breath catches in her throat, and it's almost like my words hit an invisible mark they weren't aiming for. Why not give it another shot? A couple hours, some quarters, and I can prove you wrong on that down to bullshit. I mean, Damien would probably piss himself to see it again. It's true! Liz would want to see it too, I bet. I would like to see why you and Damien's are really close friends, at least, she warmly adds. Olivia's definitely on the spot, but rather than being on the back foot as she was with Mia, raising her up, and she just isn't used to it. Well, she grips her head with her hands and rolls her tail along the ground as she thinks. I hope this doesn't kill the camel, because she really looks out of her element right now. If you guys care that much about it, I wouldn't mind a nickname from you guys. Yeah! Alright, Hot Wheels is back. You guys are first to Liz and Anon! She glares, to which Damien laughs off. To which Damien laughs it off? Why not just which Damien laughs off? I don't know. Personal choice, I guess. What if I share my nickname privilege with him? Like a trade-off. I forbid it. Oh, but it would make for we can make an elaborate ceremony and everything. Oh! Can we wear robes while we do it? I heard that ceremonies have robes. Olivia slouches, simmering again, unable to hide her amusement. Hey, if we're getting the name out again, we should go visit the arcade again sometime. I'd rather not. Yeah, I'd have to check my schedule anyway, so I cross my arms and wait for a beat. I think I can find an opening. Besides, run from it all you want, Hot Wheels. I have to prove you're wrong somehow. Olivia's regret at giving me the privilege is instantaneous as those scales flush. Can't you just call it a blush, man? Come on. Keep flushing like it's the toilet. We all stand around a bit longer, bantering and talking about the less exciting, mundane minutiae of our... Is that written like that? I don't even know. I've never seen it written like that. It is with an I. Well, now I feel silly. Because I've written that wrong. I thought it was minutiae, which would not have an I in it. Minutiae. Google, help!
Minutiae.
Minutiae? Fuck. What am I thinking of? Well, Damien and Liz head off, and while I expect Libby to go with them, she sticks by my side. Hey, I'll roll with you. You sure? I'm just headed up to the station from your house? To the station away from your house. Yeah, it's nothing. It's not that far away. Weather's still nice today, too. Besides, I'm sure someone would try to mug you if I didn't scare them away. Yeah, they'd be surely disappointed by my astonishing lack of dosh. Besides, I survived walking around Skin Row, you know. Where's that coming from? Really? She raises a bow incredulously as we go on our way. No, but I had a dream about doing it once. That elicits a laugh, and we fall into easy conversation as we take a stroll to our destination. Olivia's right about the nice weather. Autumnal clouds part just enough for the waning sun to heat the air. Considering it's been a month, we're like October, November, right? She basks in every opportunity. It graces her verdant scale. Because you like the heat. What? Because I'm a dino? Hey, stereotypes are a thing for a reason. I'm white and I can't dance for shit. That's because you don't know how to dance. Oh, damn. Can't believe you're a racist, Anon. Guess all skinnies are mean brutes. Where's the spear? Now that catches me off guard. That's not a weak sauce to be offended by, of course, but that's pretty based humor. I mean, that's the kind of humor you pull around with friends. Probably too much to put out even a soft A-T word, but it sets a new bar. See, this is the kind of stuff you could have had these characters meet up over. Like, have Olivia's phone have a little text update, and Anna looks over. It's like, what? Who are you talking to? What are you saying? What? You don't need to worry. If you can touch a meteor, you can touch a spear, easy. Both have a good laugh about it. Unexpected. As it was that unexpected as it was that I'd have a joke with her like that. We arrived just as the train is a few blocks away from pulling up. I find myself thinking back on the day's events and looking at her. Her disposition is contented now, but at risk of ruining it, I still have something to say. She was wrong, you know. Is wrong. What? Mia. Pretty sure I heard everything. And even if I didn't, it doesn't defy my imagination. She's wrong. Well, you know, Olivia. Myself kneeling on one knee. In a gesture I hope isn't demeaning. Have you seen the Tumblr meme? This is not how I talk to short people. I'm not saying this just to make you feel better. Mia's a cunt, and she couldn't be more wrong if she denied something as obvious as gravity. My spontaneous... she could be more wrong if she denied... My spontaneous candor has Olivia out of sorts. Like never before, she constantly battles looking away and back into my eyes. Why not just say constantly battles wanting to look into my eyes? I'm against the clock as her mood starts affecting me similarly. You're friends, and I know you don't think you're better than those around you, or you wouldn't put up with me. But I really want to go to the arcade with you, but I won't push it. She averts her eyes for a long time, long enough that my train is almost here when she looks back with an appreciative look. Thanks, Hanan. There's a bittersweet glint in her eye. I haven't dispelled all of her doubt, but I did what I could. I stand up with a nod, step onto the train with the doors open. Time it out just as the door closes. She's no recourse and able to say, "Catch you on the flip side, Hot Wheels!" My face morphs instantly into outrage at my audacity. "Hanan, you son of a bitch! Get back here within tail range!" I double over in laughter, seeing her exasperatedly shake her fist after my train. Already knowing how she'll grip me next time I see her? Is it weird to say I'm looking forward to getting smacked? It's because you're into spanking, my man. You gotta come to terms with it. Yeah, it is, and I don't mean that in the weird way. I swear, like love tap or something. Platonic friend love tap. Friendship tap. Magic tap. From Pony. Good thing I'm not saying this out loud so it can't be judged. Sit beside a yellow-scaled saurian, smelling strongly of hot dogs. I find my stomach grumbling. Once again aware of my starvation. My fellow comedian takes pity upon hearing my hunger pangs and offers to share some leftovers she apparently has. Runs a hot dog cart or something. She was nice. Her name is Tracy. Once I wolfed down 3 dogs, she gets to asking who the greenie I was talking to was. With strong insinuation and romance. I like how you got Tracy shoehorned in here in like the awkward way. But you know what? Tracy was always kind of weird. So I'm on board with this one. Her lone fanged smirk tells me that she isn't buying my denials, but aside from a little light ribbing, doesn't badger me about it, thankfully. Even goes so far as says she runs into me again with leftovers. They're all mine. I sheepishly thank for the offer, feeling a bit like a leech with how one-sided the deal is. She wears my guilty look and says that they'd be wasted otherwise. I bid her farewell at my stop, which she returns. Soon enough, I'm back home and able to decompress and think more about the day. Since when did I get cast in a high school drama? Well, crazy days are few in number, I guess, but even one is a new experience. Did I just complain about how boring school? Did I just complain about us going? I did just complain. I did just complain about how boring school felt, didn't I? Big mouth of mine. The first chapter outside the Wani demo. That it is. I think I'm going to turn back dark mode because, man, this is really hurting my eyes. I'm not used to reading like this. Actually, I am. Because, counter to expectations, I do, in fact... Where's the... Fuck, I forgot which one I used. I think it's called the Reversi. Because I work a lot in Google Docs, and that has, like, a lot of white stuff, you know. Feels a bit different. It's not as broad. What else? Was that a bad chapter? Nah. I don't know. I think this is the first chapter where I feel like something at least is happening, but it might also be that I legitimately do not like the pool chapter. Like, it can cut both ways, and I was right to cut early, because, man, that took a little longer than I thought. So they're going to have the rain talk? Yeah, like Tears of the Rain. Jesus Christ. How are you going to handle this after everything that's already happened? It's going to be interesting. Because this is the point where I decide if this is even worth continuing, because if you don't land the rain scene, I don't care what you have to say. You've got, like, 33 chapters. If at chapter 6 you drop the ball that hard, I don't know, man. Oh, it starts off pretty good, though. Why couldn't it be Anon crying? Why couldn't it be Anon crying? Maybe I'll make it Anon crying when I decide to write my revenge. Yeah!